Do you believe that knee replacements are just a part of the aging process? Are you expecting when you get older that you'll have to have your knees replaced? Today you may be young and active and having a good time doing things, but every so often have hurt your knees. Maybe you're middle-aged and you're still actively in sports like in golf or tennis or pickleball, and the knees are starting to creak and crack a little bit, and oh my gosh, now you're worried about a future knee replacement. Today I'm going to share with you the top 3 things you can do to prevent many of the injuries to the knee and avoid future knee replacements. Stay tuned. And by the way, don't forget to subscribe down below, ring the bell, share this with your friends, and as always, leave your comments. Welcome back to the Muscle Repair Shop. My name is Butch Phelps, and today we're going to talk about how to avoid knee injuries and future knee replacements. And today I'm going to share with you the top 3 things that I found that helps to improve the health of your knees. Now, most of you are middle-aged, you're playing golf, tennis, pickleball. Some of you may be a little bit younger, you're still playing basketball, still playing softball. Maybe you like to run every day. And all those things are fine. And I know for the runners especially, you'll hear many health professionals say to you, running is bad for your knees. Well, today I'm going to dispel some of that for you so that you can have a better understanding of what it takes to have healthy knees and how to keep those things from falling apart on you, needing a knee replacement later on in life. So the thing to think about with the knees is we want to think about it from an anatomical position, okay? So when you, and I'm going to make this easy for you, it won't be big words or anything like that, but here's the thing to think about. When you are looking at a knee, the lower leg, which is the shin and the calves, you have 2 bones in there. The thigh has 1 big bone. In fact, it's the largest bone in the human body. With the lower leg, you have 4 calf muscles on the back, 3 shin muscles on the front, and 3 or more muscles in between the bones themselves. So anytime that you're walking, running, playing sports, walking up and down steps, turning your body from side to side, the 2 bones in that lower leg have to be able to rotate. And when those muscles get tight and they get hard, now all of a sudden those 2 bones can't rotate, and because those 2 bones come up to the knee joint, which connects in with the thigh bone, which is called the femur, when you start to rotate this, you start to grind over time, you squeeze out the synovial fluid in the knee, and then you start to damage the cartilage in the knee. And I know you've all heard of people saying, well, I'm bone on bone. Well, that just didn't happen because they were 66 or 65. That happened over a lifetime of damage to their knees on a daily basis, just walking up and down steps or just walking around, period. So today I want to share with you 3 tips, 3 things that you can do right now and resolve and prevent those injuries from happening, and maybe even avoid knee replacement later in your life. Now, for some of you, you're older like me, and the problem there is we never were told these 3 things, and we were literally given some bad advice in our past, and so now some of us have come up with knee damage. Luckily, I learned a long time ago about how to avoid it, so I've been able to avoid that all my life. But what I want to talk about today is these 3 things to help you get going. So, number 1, learn how to massage and soften your calves. Now, the thing to think about here is even if you're at a point of having a knee replacement, I remember a friend of mine who's an orthopedic surgeon once said to me, my job is to replace the bones. If they come in with stiff muscles, they're going out with stiff muscles. And so what that means is that the muscles themselves are the only thing in your body that applies pressure to the bones. So even if they go in and they replace those bones, if your muscles are hard and they're tight, you're going to put the same pressure on the new hip knee joint that you put on the original knee joint. And what we want to try to do is take that pressure off. If you haven't had a knee replacement, let's get those calves and those shins softened so hopefully you won't ever have to have that happen to you. what you can do here is you can sit in a chair and you can cross your leg just like what I'm doing right here. And I'm going to give you some other angles, you can see this as well, but you're going to take your thumbs as you wrap your hands around your lower leg here, and you're going to start to press into those calf muscles. And again, you're not trying to press really hard. Now, the idea for most people is they've been through deep tissue massage or some much high pressure massage or rubbing type of an ordeal. The idea here is I'm going to push the pain out. You're not going to do that, actually. What's happening here is that if I push too hard and I generate too much pain, my brain in the fight or flight is going to cause these muscles to contract. And as they do that, I'm literally going to wear out my hands is what I'm going to do, not soften my leg. So as you start to press in here, I just use the pads of my thumb, and as you start to press in here on the back of your leg, you're looking for spots that are sore there. And when you find one, stay there, maintain the pressure, breathe out, hold it for about 5, 6, 7 seconds. And as you do that, the muscle will start to relax because now the brain sees there's no danger, okay? Once that relaxes, the muscle will soften and you start to move into other areas of that muscle to continue to make it soft. On the front side over here, you see you have the calf muscles, and there, so you can use the fingers, your fingers come right around. You'll feel a bone running right along into here, but you can come right along that edge here and just start working and getting this here to free up, to soften this up. And as you do that, now what happens is that the muscles in the shin start to soften as well, doing the same thing we did with the back. When you find a spot that's sore, don't press harder. I know that's what you want to do, but don't press harder, please, okay? But maintain the pressure, breathe out, relax the brain, which relaxes the muscle, causing the muscle to soften. And you can do this, in fact, I would suggest doing this on a daily basis, 2-3 times a day. Anytime you're sitting talking to your friends or you're waiting on someone in a waiting room, cross your legs and get in here and just work. No one else is even going to know what you're doing. You'll know what you're doing, and you'll know that it's good for you to do that. So the reason for that massage and getting these muscles to soften, remember on the lower leg, there are 2 bones here that have to rotate, just like that. If those muscles are soft, it takes the torque out of these bones, which takes the torque out of the knee, and that causes that knee to actually perform better. And in that joint, the body will put what's called a synovial fluid, which is like a WD-40, which is a lubricant cushioning agent kind of thing. And so the less torque you have there, the more of that fluid you can have, which can help resolve some of the knee pain and knee injuries that people have doing things in their life. The second thing we want to do is going to be the calf stretch. And what I'm going to do here is send you to a video that I have in my other videos here on the YouTube channel. Look it up, it's on the calf, and there'll be plenty of video there to show you how to stretch your calves the right way. What I will tell you here is that if you are doing what you think is a calf stretch by standing on a slant board, leaning against a wall, dropping your heel off of a step, a curb, a board, even doing a downward dog, what you're doing is an Achilles tendon stretch. It is true you will feel some pressure up in your calf, but you have 4 muscles in this calf, and those 4 muscles control your foot vertically for walking, laterally in supination, pronation, which is also for balance, and rotationally. And so the stretching properly of that calf to do that rotationally will save people like golfers when having back pain. 99% of the time, their calves and their 3 hamstrings are tight. They have back pain, but not realize that the cause of that is coming from their calves and into their hamstrings. I've worked on baseball pitchers where they've had shoulder pain, not realizing that their calves being tight caused them to overthrow the baseball, creating shoulder pain up here. So the thing is when you're looking at the calves of the human body, it is probably the most important area of the human body to stretch, and you must stretch it every day. I stretch mine every morning and every evening, and by doing so, it stops knee pain, it stops back pain, it allows me to walk better, which stops neck and shoulder pain. Believe it or not, your calves can create neck and shoulder pain just by walking in correctly. And again, I have other videos that talk about that if you want to go in more in depth with that too. But the stretching of the calves you'll use with a yoga strap. And with that yoga strap, what you'll do there is you'll put it around the ball of your foot. Now typically I sit on the floor with my hips and my back against the wall, one leg straight out in front of me. I put the yoga strap around the ball of my foot and I gently pull the toes back towards me. And I'm going to hold that for 5 seconds, breathe out, repeat 10 times. Now here's a few things that people I see do on a continual basis when they're trying to do this at home for the first time. They will tend to pull the toes too hard and lift the heel up off the floor. When you do that, you're not stretching your calves. What you're doing is a bicep curl. So your biceps up here are going to get bigger, but your calves aren't going to get stretched out because you're lifting the weight of your leg. That becomes your resistance, which is strength training, okay? The second thing they do, they want to use the muscles in their legs to pull their toes back. I want your leg to be totally relaxed and just use the band, the yoga strap or the rope to gently pull the toes back towards you. Some people have tried to use elastic bands. Elastic bands are designed for strength training. They were not designed for stretching. I realize people call them stretchy bands, but that doesn't mean that they're used for stretching the muscles. In fact, they're only used for strengthening the muscles, to be honest with you. So if you can avoid those 3 things, and again, check out my other videos on the calf stretching, and what you'll get there is you'll get the actual true way of stretching not one muscle, but all 4 of the calf muscles, and then that's going to allow you to be able to rotate and do the things you want to do and perform better. The third thing, shoes. I know you guys have heard me talk about shoes ad nauseum, but I can't stress enough how much damage shoes can do to your body. So when you look at a pair of shoes, we've all been told, especially those of us who are older, that good shoes have arch supports and heel supports and fixed soles. And the truth of the matter is, that is not true. The truth of the matter is that you need shoes with a thinner sole, and the reason for that is on the bottom of each of your foot, you have 272 nerve endings there that is checking and testing the gradation of the ground. So if it changes, it sends messages up to your brain to say, oh, the ground is leaning to the right, or the ground is leaning to the left. And if you can't feel that through your shoe, those nerves can't send messages to the brain. They think everything is okay. Next thing you know, you fall down. The heel support, believe it or not, is what causes people to walk heel to toe. Now this has been verified in studies even at Harvard Medical School that the heel support forces people to walk heel to toe. The way you're supposed to walk is to walk on the whole foot, hitting right behind the knuckles of the toes. Don't walk on your toes because that'll tighten up your calves and you can wind up with plantar fasciitis, knee pain, whatever. Walk on the whole foot, and when you're able to push off because your calves are stretched out, literally the foot that is behind you as you're walking, those toes are pushing you or propelling you forward into your next step. The arch support. The arch support is there to prevent arches from actually flexing flat. And when you step down, the arch of the foot is supposed to flex flat like a shock absorber on your car to take the impact as the toes widen on your foot for balance. Well, if you have an arch support there, that arch cannot flex flat, and so what happens over time is that the muscle starts to atrophy. And what you'll see as you get older is you can't walk barefoot on hard surfaces, and many times I've heard doctors say, never walk barefoot on hard surfaces. The truth is that if your arch muscles are working properly, you can easily walk on any surface that you want. What you will find is when you wear a shoe that you can literally bend in the middle and you don't have all that support in the shoe, your feet are going to be able to grip the ground better, and you're actually going to be able to maintain better balance because the muscles in your feet become stronger. Now, the importance of that is that with the arch, if it's not working correctly, causes the knee to have to take the impact of your foot hitting the ground, and over time will cause damage to the knee and possibly even to the hip, and we'll get into that in the next video. But the thing is that's how important that arch is, and causing that arch muscle to atrophy is a very bad thing to do for your knees. I just had a client come in the other day, and I always recommend a shoe called Zero Shoes to my clients on my newsletters and so forth. There's an affiliated link there, so in total transparency, I do get a small commission if they buy through that link. But a gentleman came in who'd been dealing with knee pain and drop foot for a while, and he was excited that he had tried the Zero Shoes and could not believe that his knee pain had stopped and that his drop foot had improved considerably just by changing the shoes. And so what I'm saying is that we don't understand, it sounds to me like we don't understand how important the knees, the foot is to the knees and our ability to move around. But the truth is that once you free those calves, once you get those feet back to working correctly, you may be just as surprised about how much better your knees feel, and in the future you may be able to avoid knee replacements. So if you enjoyed what you heard today, please subscribe down below, ring the bell, and share this with your friends. And a quick question here at the end is, what have you found that has helped your knees? And let's talk about that. Talk to you later. See ya.